Do I have a special flower? And do I have a garden? I have a black thumb. My father, my parents divorced when I was in 6th grade, and my father and I always had like not a great relationship. And then he had MS for many, many years, and he was married to his 3rd wife who took care of him, and then she passed away, and he was in a nursing home, and he died 2 years ago, and it really devastated me, which was a big surprise because I thought that I wouldn't care because we didn't have a great relationship, and I miss him every day.
What is this for?
I went to college. I went to Leslie College, or Leslie University as it's now known, for a year. I went to Boston College for a year at night while I worked full-time during the day, and then went to school full-time at night. And then I went to UMass Amherst with my friend Roberta, transferred there, and I studied psychology. I was in the corporate world for many years, from the time that I was out of school till about 10 years ago. Started out as a secretary, then, became an executive assistant, like high-level executive assistant, then got into corporate events and planning and functions, planning symposiums, doing a lot of PowerPoint presentations for these symposiums and big corporate events, along with all of everything that goes along with that, the hoteling, the food, the menu, the day-to-day, everything. When I got pregnant with Burke, I was working for a company called Accenture that used to be called Anderson Consulting, and I ran their orientation program. So all the new hires that came in, I ran the program, got the speakers, went through all the paperwork when somebody starts new in a company. It was a very extensive program that lasted for like a week. More recently, my next big job was I was a real estate agent for Zip Realty. Very successful at that, and then got out of real estate. I made some really great investments. My ex-husband and I bought several houses together and sold them at a huge profit. So I made some great investments, put it that way. And now I am working part-time at a hair salon, and as a receptionist. I'm just at the age, I'm still pretty young, but I'm at the age that I don't want to take my job home with me anymore. I don't want to have to, as a real estate agent, I was working 24/7. I'd be poolside on a Saturday on the 4th of July doing a business deal. 11 o'clock at night, if a deal was falling through, my phone was on. I don't want the pressure and stress of that. I want a job that is easy, although my job is not all that easy right now. Being at a front desk of a very busy, successful salon, working many hats, taking care of clients, and then also making sure that the stylists and the estheticians, that the new clients are fairly, evenly distributed among them, and the cash drawer, everything. It's not like a slow-paced job, put it that way. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it, but you need to be able to do each part of that job well, and that's where I really excel. I'm really good at multitasking. I grew up I was born in the Bronx, New York City, and then I moved to Long Island, Dix Hills, Huntington when I was 2, and moved from there to Brookline, Massachusetts when I was 7. How do I budget? I don't budget. What makes you think I budget? What I do a lot is I sell a ton of stuff on eBay. So if there's something that I see, let's say at Nordstrom, or makeup that I want, I do get it because I need the immediate gratification, but then I'll go home and I go through my stuff. I go through shoes and bags and jewelry, and I say, what can I sell? And then I just sell it at really great prices so that it sells, and then I have the money. So I'm really bad at budgeting. Like, if I was in a relationship and had a husband or boyfriend, whatever, lived with him, they'd have to be in charge of the money, because I'm pretty much a spendthrift. I kill even cactus. Are you a morning or night person? Definitely night person. Do you live alone with Burke? Yes, just me and Burke. And how did you cultivate such a great relationship with your mother? Well, I'm an only child, so, and my parents got divorced when I was in 6th grade. So I think just by virtue of the fact that we were all that we had. But, you know, my mother and I have normal mother-daughter issues. It's not by any means a perfect relationship. I don't think anything is. So I think it's just that we have a small family and we're all that we have, and we're similar in a lot of ways. We are also different in a lot of ways, but both try to be very accepting of those differences, which is the challenge. And I don't know, we've just always gotten along, you know, and done a lot of things together. I love roses, but I also love snapdragons. And I love crocuses because they are the first sign of spring. And actually, right outside of my house, there used to be plants. And my neighbor who lived upstairs died very suddenly. She's a young woman. And she had planted crocuses. And so every summer, spring, when they come up, I think of her and I say like a little prayer to Andrea. Yes, I am an only child. I'm 5'4"3/4", not quite 5'5". My dream vacation, I would really like to go to Hawaii or Australia, but I don't think I could do the plane ride, or Japan. So many places. Greece, Santorini, I heard is gorgeous. And have I ever been to Canada? Yes, I've been to Montreal and loved it. What a fabulous city. So clean. People are wonderful. They speak English perfectly. They'll like just switch back and forth from French to English on a whim. The food was great. Everything. There's nothing bad to say about Montreal. I'd like to go to Italy also. I just thought of that. Trying to think where else. I think that's it. I love ivy that grows on like brick buildings. Will I ever wear wigs again? Probably not. Favorite music is definitely 80s music. Madonna. I liked Steve Miller, Till Tuesday, Crowded House. Love Crowded House. But my all-time favorite, and this has been for many years now, is One Republic. And my favorite song ever is Good Life. That's my ringtone on my phone. I'm actually going to see them this summer along with the script. I'm taking Burke. That'll be his first concert. So I would say my favorite group band of all time is One Republic. A close second is Coldplay. And I have such a wide variety of music, but I hope that answered your question. Love Tulips. What do Burke and I do for fun? Well, he's 14, so right now he doesn't really want to do anything with me. And really, I haven't spent very much time with him doing anything other than, you know, being home and taking him where he needs to go. So in the summer, we go to my timeshare, and he loves spending the time with me doing that. Although last year he did take a friend, and he does like to travel alone with me. So I would say travel is what we do for fun when we can. I love cactuses. I love roses. What is my dearest wish for myself? I don't really wish for things for myself. I wish always things for Burke, and that he lives a long and healthy life. And then I think about how devastated he would be if anything happened to me. So then I wish for me to have a healthy life. And then the only other thing that I wish, my dearest wish for myself, would maybe be that I find true love. Don't love carnations. My first pet, I believe, was a teeny little turtle. that drove me crazy. I don't know, his legs or something. And now little turtles are illegal. You can't have them. And then after that, my mother got a little dog. It was a beagle, I think, and we named it Missy. And it was outside one day and ate like some rhododendron bush or something and got brain damage, and we sent it to a farm so it could run free. So that was my first dog. Bird of paradise I love. Oh, I love calla lilies. One question I got a lot was, how do I stay so positive? And it's funny because I never thought of myself as a positive person. But if you look back, search for one of my videos, and I'll link it below as well, entitled How I Got Rid of Chronic Pain. That was pretty much my journey into being aware and positive in my life. When I'm conscious of, behaviors and how I'm feeling and things like that, I'm a positive type of person. I don't know how you change your mind to look at the glass as half full instead of half empty. I just feel like, you surround yourself with the right people. That's the first thing. That's a big thing that I do, is I am constantly weeding out those that I feel are toxic or not good in my life. And I think that's very important, to surround yourself with people that inspire you, people that lift you up, people that make you feel good about yourself. And I've had a lot of people in my life that haven't done that, and they're out the door. I do not keep them in my life for very long. Sometimes it takes a while for me to get to that point, because I am a very forgiving person, and I don't like to hold grudges. So, it might take years of being somewhat abused by certain people, and then I cut them out. Someone asked if I enjoyed being single and if I would get married again. I do enjoy being single, but, and I've always said, I never want to get married again. I've been married twice. Once when I had just turned 22, and that was just for like 7 months. And then when I was 31, I married Burke's father. I didn't have Burke till I was 36. But I've always said I wasn't going to get married again. And I don't know, lately I've been thinking, why am I saying that? Leave my options open. Maybe I will. So, I do like being single. I love my life right now. It's very drama-free, uncomplicated, and, when you have a relationship, there comes complications. But what's the saying? It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. And I think that even though my life is pretty even and easy, it's missing a very important part, and that is having somebody else, share my life with me, somebody that loves me and someone that I love. So I won't say I would never get married again. I would definitely like a relationship, though. More on staying positive. I also am a firm believer in whatever you tell yourself, and the things that you focus on are what comes to you. So I really do consciously try and not think about the negative, but focus on the positive. I know that sounds very cliche, but it's true. And really just try and find a reason or a good situation out of a bad one. Not to say I don't have, bad times in my life. I do. I suffer from depression, so I do not always see everything as hunky-dory. Believe me, I don't. But I also try and stay away from drama. So I'm not a drama kind of person. I think if you are around that, you're not going to be as positive. And I have some really great friends, and I go to that dance class every Sunday, and I'm going to go Tuesday nights and Thursday mornings as well, if I can afford it. And I'll tell you, that's the most special dance class ever. It just starts my day and my week off. It's very motivating and a conscious type of dance class that we do. There's like nothing else like it. It's really hard to explain. People say, oh, you know, do you warm up? It's not a dance class like that. It's more expressive movement. But the person that runs it, Nicole, runs this integral life center, which has become a very big part of my life. And so that's where she comes from, a place of being very spiritual and very, you know, we're always thankful and trying to stay in the moment and letting go of the ego and things like that. I love flocks. Burke's father. I met him when I was 31 on a cruise. He was my waiter, and he's from Turkey. He was 7 years younger than me. He still is 7 years younger than me. We got married very quickly, like a month after knowing each other. We were married for 5 years. Then we had Burke, and a year later we ended up separating. In the beginning, we were in a war. There were, you know, worries on my part about him being alone with Burke because, you know, going to Turkey and stuff like that. So in the beginning, it was really hard. And I would say until Burke was 3, we did not, you know, do anything together. He saw Burke, and it was very separate. Then we became very good friends, and we actually all went to Turkey twice. Well, once while we were married, all of us, including my mother. And then after we were divorced, my mother and I and Burke flew to Turkey, met up with him. He had Burke, and my mother and I just toured the city. But we were very good friends then. And then we did a lot of things as a family. And then about 3.5 years ago, things sort of fell apart, and Burke and his father, the relationship was very strained, and he and I didn't get along, and just recently we're all back together again, as in being friends. He's very much in Burke's life, and he and I get along very well, and we're friendly, and he actually lives around the corner, so that's nice. It's convenient. His brother came in from Turkey last week. We all went out for dinner, and his sister and her husband moved here, so we are right now in the process of rebuilding that relationship, and it's going really, really well. Am I still friends with Ben and Ethan? Not really. I'm not going to get into details. Up until recently I was, but you know, summer was a lot easier to get together with them. In the winter we were really busy, and that's why I didn't see them quite as much, and you didn't hear about them as much. But up until recently, I had a falling out with Ben, and Ethan and Ben are now engaged, so, you know, I'm not going to ask him to choose, obviously. But yeah, so that's kind of sad. So I'm not as friends with them as I was before. Does Burke look like his father? Sort of, but it's funny because when I look back at pictures of me, it's like Burke's face on a girl. It's really, he looks very, you know, boy, and I looked very girl, but I see a lot of me in him now. But I do see his father too, and a lot of his expressions are like his dad's. Burke's father, his name is Gungor, Gungor, and he's very, very handsome. So Junior asked me, my friend Junior from Brazil, hello, he asked me if what I was like in my 20s and if I still had friends from then. And my answer is, oh, what was I like in my 20s? I know, that's going to take a little bit of time, but what I did want to tell you was that yes, I'm still very close with Marjorie and Roberta, and I've known them since I was 7, and we hung out when we were in our 20s all the time. I'm going to insert a picture here of me, Marjorie, and Roberta recently. It looks like we're like the blonde, the redhead, and the brunette, right? Yeah, so I've known them since I was 7, second grade. Roberta's a year younger, so I've known her since she was 6. And in my 20s, I drank, I did a few other things, partied a lot, had a lot of boyfriends, and I would say that I pretty much lived out most of the things I wanted to do before I got married and had a child, so that when I finally was ready to get married and have a child, nothing felt like a sacrifice. Like I had done it all, you know? Really sowed my wild oats, so to speak. Oh, I'm going to film like this more often. I have no double chin. I'm lying on my back. I love peonies more than roses. I would love to have more children, except that I just had a hysterectomy in October and I'm 50 years old. I really only wanted 2 kids. I think that's my greatest disappointment. Nicola had asked me that question, and that's my greatest disappointment, that I didn't have a second child, because I think you miss out on a lot of things when you're an only child. Although Burke loves being an only child, I didn't like being an only child. So that's my greatest disappointment. My greatest achievement is parenting Burke. You know, not having kids, because animals can have offspring. If I could have any job, I think I would want to name cosmetics like nail polish and lip gloss. That's like a dream job, believe it or not. I think that would be really fun. Chrysanthemums. I actually thought about getting a big chrysanthemum on my shoulder, a tattoo. Like all different colors, they grow like that. Oh, love those.